guys hear?
I don't know what your purpose is. Okay, I don't even know what mine is. But there is something that you have to do. Go and find your purpose.
I have no idea if anybody's in here yet.
You do have one.
Thanks guys, already lots of awesome comments and a couple of comments that have come in. Yo, can you hear me actually? Is the mic on? Is it working? Cool. And what about the background? Can you hear the music playing? If you guys need any... If I need to do any leveling, let me know. Turn the mic up.
Who are you?
Come here.
Alright.
Tell me who you are.
I am that which you seek to destroy.
I'm still super amateur with the streaming stuff, so... Okay, so yeah, guys, I don't really have a plan at all, really. Just wanted to say hi and you know, celebrate that today's the day that I finally put out a new album after a long time, and yeah, just happy you guys could be a part of it. So I wanted to say, just jump online and say hi. So yeah, how's the release gone? It's been pretty busy with getting, you know, all the details done and making sure that all the files were ready to go, and you know, didn't sleep a lot in the last bit of the process. But yeah, I mean, in the end, I think it went alright. I'm glad the CD turned out the way it did, and everything seems to have gone okay with the uploads.
While my heart is still human and my soul is my own.
Okay, let's have a look in the chat. Who have you got? Oh, there's lots of you already. It's typical for me to just not even say that I'm going to do this kind of thing, and then just turn it on and see where we go with it. Yeah, there was no merch, that's true. We are gonna talk about that soon though. It was a bit too much to also get, you know, merch done at the same date with the album drop. Because yeah, you know, we have to sort out. Obviously, I'm with a different label, and also you know, the artwork was being made for the CD, and we didn't know what the merch was supposed to be, but definitely we're gonna do merch. It's been a long time, and it would be dumb not to do any, because everybody's asking for it. Let's see. I'm okay, thank you very much. How are you guys? Oh, it's not in Germany yet, the album. How many of you guys ordered the CD and actually have the CD now? People are telling me that I've been saying the merch is coming for a long time already. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I'm sorry. Been focusing on a lot of different stuff, and merch is definitely one of them. But you know, priorities are difficult to manage. Where's Nosferatu? Yeah, I purposely didn't do any collabs on the album because I just wanted to do like an old-fashioned artist album thing with you know, there are also no remixes on it, and it's just 13 tracks, not 36 or something. Because you know, I feel like when I listen to music, and definitely like times we are now, it's music has become more of a listening experience again, not just you know, consuming just as much as you can. So I wanted to make a curated, not super long album, but with a beginning and an end, and that it all made sense. And there will definitely be a time for more collabs and remixes, and I've got lots of cool stuff lined up. Been talking to a lot of guys, new names and old names, and guys you've been asking about for a long time already as well. So yeah, that's definitely gonna happen, but this was, you know, this was something different. This was a different kind of project. So that's why there's no Nosferatu or anybody for that matter on the album. So I was supposed to do some like behind the scenes videos already before release. So that's why like this is one of the setups I did to show you guys. In this case, Save Me, but I didn't feel too well. Bit of a cold, nothing serious. But yeah, I didn't feel like doing a video, and after all the craziness of the last couple of weeks, I think it was yeah, it was better to just chill out for a bit and then do the stream, do the interesting behind the scenes streams later on.
You'll have to be careful.
The sidechain is weird. On the voice, is it really bad? Probably too much. Actually, I have OBS doing the sidechaining business, and it's not what I usually do. It's not my kind of plugin, but it sort of works, I guess, when I was testing it. But if there's anything wrong with the sound, definitely let me know.
I think it's a remarkable gift.
Yeah, it was a, you could call it a concept album, I guess. Nowadays, something like that is more of a concept album compared to a compilation album, I guess, or just random songs. Lots of compilation albums lately, and I mean, they definitely have their place. If you have done a lot of music and a lot of collabs and anthems and I don't know, all kinds of stuff, and you want to show up, then doing a double CD with a lot of tracks makes sense. But yeah, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Especially I was on a, you know, it's a new start, fresh start for me, new label, and it's been a while since I did an album, so I wanted to just show like sort of a purer form release. I don't only release in Thunderdome, but I'm gonna concentrate on Thunderdome at least for the hardcore productions for the time being. Maybe if I do like a collab with somebody on a different label, it could be somewhere else, or if I do some other weirdness that doesn't fit, then it'll probably be somewhere else. But yeah, for now it's definitely the main spot that I'll be dropping music. That's too bad that the CD didn't make it to Germany yet. I suppose it didn't make it to other countries as well then. Usually what they do is they send it out like a day too early on purpose to like foreign buyers, but yeah, you can't always control the way the post distributes it. I hope you guys have it soon, maybe later today or otherwise tomorrow. Oh, you guys, there are some people who haven't actually listened until they get the CD. It's cool, I guess. Being very disciplined. I know that when I'm really looking forward to something, like I don't know, like a TV show or an album, I try not to spoil myself either. Just unsubscribe from pages or subreddits, or
so much anger in you.
Try not to read anything or hear anything.
But, you have to be careful.
Yeah, I guess nowadays that the release is digital everywhere. It's kind of hard to ignore it, especially with us spamming you guys like every second, spamming you with previews and snippets and sneaks and artwork and videos and stories. You're doing well to duck our bombardment spam. Subwoofer. My track that sounds intentionally bad. I guess some of you guys heard that. Oh, bad. I mean, bad.
In September 1960,
Sounds like
this
it's
guy named Raymond Jones got the first patent for a subwoofer.
No, this is not hardstyle. Did I say it was hardstyle? It's not. Sorry. If you were expecting hardstyle, it's not.
Subwoofer.
I'm gonna put the chat somewhere else.
If the point of the machine was to resonate the room at a certain frequency, we can do that.
Ah, cool. Yeah, it's obviously on SoundCloud as well. I did check to see if the upload went right to a couple of sites. iTunes looked okay. YouTube looked okay. But obviously I can't check every single upload because the distributors just send it all to all these different shops and sites now, and I just hope. I mean, if it works for 1 and 2, the rest should be fine though.
Some sort of frequency is made to resonate.
Turns out we're standing in the middle of the world's largest subwoofer.
Yeah, no, this kick does not have punch. This kick does not punch. Not very much, obviously. I remember back in the day when I was playing in a small club somewhere, and I think the sound guy was already kind of mad at me, and then I played one of the Rude Awakening tracks that were new back then, when he was doing the Rude Awakening series. I think it was like number 3 that had this huge, completely blown up kick drum, and it just sounds like everything is just breaking up. And I played this track, and the sound guy just runs up and starts turning down all the gains, and obviously it doesn't work because it just sounds like that. The track sounds that bad. It's meant to sound like that, and he was just so mad, and obviously nothing worked. So I was this shitty DJ that was wrecking his stuff, wrecking his night. I expect somebody who plays out subwoofer will probably have the same the same consequences with other sound guys.
September 1964, the sky gave Raymond Jones.
And year 3, yeah, okay, yeah, I can explain a bit about year 3. Actually, the concept of the track was done long before, actually working on it. I just made the atmospheres and stuff first because I really wanted to have this thing that that it sounded like almost like a sort of psychosis that you would be at a party, or like in the case of the video at Thunderdome, and then kind of like reality starts to break up, sort of, and can I open that, or will I get in? Let me just pull up the video real quick. Will I get in trouble for playing a YouTube video on YouTube? Probably not. So yeah, that's why I wanted to do the video. I did the video myself with a little help from Frank. But yeah, I wanted to. The video was so important for the track because it showed off a bit of what was going on with the audio. Because like this audio it sounds like it's live, because this track is actually completely fake. I mean, the track exists, but it wasn't played out this night. It was it's a new thing that I called Pain, or Winter Pain. Winter Pain was my my working title. So then you sort of like here, you kind of like reality starts to break up, and you just end up in this alternate empty world that just keeps getting weirder and weirder and weirder. So the video version is slightly shorter than the extended that is on the album. But yeah, so the idea is that you start to have more and more of these, well, yeah, demonic influences or something, that it's sort of going on in your brain, breaking further away from reality, and it just keeps keeps getting darker. And then in the end, so yeah, these secret numbers. So yeah, and then eventually when you get to this part, you start to encounter Geitemans, as we refer to him. And Geitemans is probably the one warping reality. He's yeah, he opens one of his 6 mouths. And obviously from this point on, we're in the loud stuff. So yeah, I see people that say they actually like or don't like the intro, or that it kind of fooled them. But yeah, so the yeah, it's Pain, Winter. Anything else is a coincidence. Winter Pain. Yeah, so the intro and the outro was meant to be. Well, I get that people like the kicks and stuff, but it wasn't meant to be the main track, because it had to sound like something that would be going on that you would snap out of into this stuff. Actually, this is, I don't know if you guys saw the TVs and stuff, but so I did all the, if you guys remember the dead air video I did, which was also actually all the real TVs that I made analog VHS signals for. And so what I did was I made these electronics and stuff, and made a huge pile of TVs and did this video. And this is kind of the world I wanted to go back to with End the Earth. But yeah, because foresight isn't strong. Actually, we ended up dumping all these TVs at the whatever you call it, the Milieustraat. The thing where you recycle old stuff. So anyway, we dumped all these TVs, and then I wanted to do it again in the other video. So I ended up having to go on Marktplaats and score all these old TVs again. Again. And yeah, so this is actually, I recorded all of the footage myself, except for some of the standard images. And these are actual TVs that I was walking through with a handy cam.
Every moment now is precious to me.
Like little Missy over here.
Now I am drunk on an infallible poison.
I did a data mosh on the video. It's a really old, it's like a 1920s movie or something that I got her from. And actually she's not saying the words of the track. I made that.
I was the monster in this riddle.
Just made the mouth move in the right way. And data moshed it, and then converted it back to analog, and then recorded it with the handycam again, so I can do the old-fashioned zooming in and stuff. So yeah, anyway, I had to get all these TVs back to do these shots. Yeah, and then in this bit, it's just you lose grip of reality altogether. Stuff just goes wrong. Sort of inspired by stuff like the Ring video, and the video from the original Ring, the one that Samara uses. And then snap, you're back at the party. Like, what just happened? So that's why it fades out so quick, because actually that was the track, and then what you hear now is that you're back at, you know, this place where it all started. And then yeah, so that's why you go back to the track you were hearing in the beginning. And some people were so disappointed that you didn't hear the rest of that, you know, Winter Pain track. But you know, I don't think I'll upload it anywhere, but I could probably at some point, you know, I don't know, use it in a live set or played out. Do I have this thing? Yeah. That's not it. Well, that's the start of it. But. It's a bit dry because this doesn't have the reverb. exclusively for the celebratory Hangout viewers. The unofficial release of Winter Pain. So yeah, this is the track that you hear in the beginning and the end of and the Earth actually. But yeah, the track's not finished. It's just it stops because that was all I needed to do the video. So so yeah, I didn't actually finish that. It's 1 minute 37 the whole track. So I will need to. If I do use it for something, I'll need to lengthen it a bit more than this. What was I playing before? Oh yeah, I was playing the album. Let's see. I think I was somewhere around Electric Resonance or something. Secret stuff.
Increase the voltage.
Okay, so let's check what happened in the chat in the meantime. Did you guys see older unreleased versions?
Alternating with storms and
When I did like shut up some stuff. Geitenhuis. Yeah, there is a new album. That's the point of this. The album is Call of the Void. It just dropped on Thunderdome Music. 13 tracks, all of them sort of new. If you don't count the two that I dropped in December as an announcement teaser. Which this was the first, by the way. Electric Resonance, also part of the new Thunderdome merch launch, and I got to sit in a DeLorean, but I didn't get to go 88 miles per hour, fortunately. So yeah, I didn't get to see the past.
A wavelength of 6,600 feet, overflowing the curve of the Earth.
These are tune glitches. Just glitching the track is so 2020. In 2021, you actually have to tune all the glitches into their melodies. Oh yeah, the End the Earth. If you were talking about End the Earth, that is very weird. definitely is very weird. But the whole And the Earth series has never been very comforting and homely. It's always been kind of freaking weird. And that's the way it's meant to be. Yeah, you know, the thing was that the 2 tracks I dropped in December, they were, I mean, one had a kind of like this funky triplet vibe. That was this one, Electric Resonance, and the other one, Who You Are, kind of had that long break, build up melody kind of thing. And we had videos with party images and, you know, girls at the front stuff. So I was like, yeah, we can't leave them hanging like this, you know. Everybody who thinks that we're going soft or we're going, you know, too melodic or too easy going, I needed to wake these people up again with the And the Earth video. So we purposely chose to drop that one as a contrast to the other 2 tracks, just you know, just as a wake-up call. Like, don't think that I'm gonna be doing easier stuff or you know, less harsh stuff. Obviously some tracks are more so than others. Some tracks are more melodic or have like millennium vibes or early vibes, but don't think that I won't do nasty, loud, distorted stuff. Because yeah, that's what you get. You get stuff like In the Earth. Samples from Electric Resonance. That's from what do you call it? I just forget the name right now. But I thought it was kind of funny that that shithead was probably the worst dirty word on my whole album was shithead. So I guess maybe even the BBC can live with that. I think I might have forgotten something. If I forgot like something nasty on the album, then remind me. I think shithead was the worst that it got. Forgive me for forgetting the name right now. It was not a very good movie. It was awesome, but it wasn't very good. But it was awesome. Thunder Rocket 2. Well, actually, I want to do another, now that, you know, the album is done and most of the craziness is in the past. I think it would be cool to do another of those, you know, these video things that you guys send in and that I use your sounds. So I'll have to make a video soon about how we're going to do that. But yeah, do you think that would be cool? I definitely want to revisit the challenge series again. So do different challenges, but definitely also the ones that I use your sounds or your videos to do tracks with. So yeah, I'll make an announcement about that when the time is there. Get what I'm. Thank you to everybody who's been really nice in the comments. Yeah, I do try to combine different elements and you know, not just not just hard kicks, or not just breakdowns, and not just melodies, and not just harsh stuff or glitches, but try to, you put them all together. And I think this album, like for instance, this track that's starting right now, is basically, it's like what, Shrunts, but faster, with some black box sounds and Prine. It's basically like a techno vibe track, and I definitely also wanted to have that on there. I definitely wanted to do like a millennium sounding track, an industrial sounding track, one of the Shift series. So I put Redshift on there, which is actually the fourth. It's actually the fourth track, because I did Phase Shift, Form Shift, and then Mind Shift, but I never released Mind Shift because it didn't sound super good. And I will release it at some point. But so now it's Redshift again. So anyway, industrial, millennium, early sounds, techno sounds, shunt sounds. The long break kind of build-up tracks with the intros and the outros. I tried to do all kinds of different styles on that I did in my past albums and stuff, but in a new way. I think that worked out. I didn't actually put a very fast track on there, which I wanted to do at one point, but it didn't fit. It wasn't cool to add that, so I'll have to do that later. But I think most of all the other bases were checked. So I guess there's something for everybody. I think it also means that there's always a track on there that's not your style, because it's just too much different styles in one album, maybe. But you'll have to forgive me for those tracks. I'm sure that there's somebody else who thinks that's their favorite track. I mean, I'm sure that some people won't like Priest of the Void, for instance, or they won't like Redshift, or they won't like because Redshift has these acid stuff in there as well, and or people who won't like the early stuff. But I guess it's just something for everybody, and then sort of wrapped in my style, sound design. Capitalism series. This is Megalodon. We only did 2. We actually did tracks for the 3rd, but I have some series that take breaks for 10 years or more and then come back again. That's how it goes. I wouldn't say there's tracks exactly like the Mine or Creating the Future, but definitely Save Me has, if you look at the earlier parts, see if this works. For me, that is sort of the same universe as the Mine, in a way, if that makes any sense. If you know what I mean. That it's sort of the triplet with the atmospherics in there, and then the way that the program is Cubase that you're seeing right now. It's Cubase 9.5. I'm always behind on updates. But so it's the same kind of triplet edits. I call it scrapping because I started doing that in scrap metal. I have like edits that I refer to myself as scrapping or juggling or whatever. So this has these scrapping kicks, like the cut up triplet edits and the bouncy end of bars. So it's sort of like a slightly less dark, slightly more friendly, the mind creating the future universe kind of sound. Obviously in the break after it it goes melodic. So do I have MIDI? No. Yeah, so it goes melodic, so it breaks from that style. But you can't hear Cubase? Ah, shit. How come? It should be even the same output. Maybe because it's playing over the ASIO and OBS doesn't grab it. So let me try to fix that. See, maybe if I turn off the ASIO. Nah. Anyway, it's can you hear that? Just blasting through the microphone. Probably starts very bad. It sounds very bad, but anyway, so these are the parts that I thought were kind of the mine universe with That's right. I guess you guys hear what I mean when I say that this is, for me at least, this is kind of the same universe as the mind and creating the future. So yeah, I mean, it's what is this, like 172 BPM. It's kind of for me this has callbacks to like Millennium sounds, and I put it on first because I just thought the way it the kick dropped in was such a like a hello. Here we are. So yeah, I'm gonna do a video on Save Me, and as well as a few others. Maybe you guys can help me pick which tracks you want to see. But I'll do like a separate video on them that I really plan out what I can show you guys, because there's some interesting stuff in here. Like this track, for instance, it's like 30 tracks, and that's including duplicates and extra MIDI layers and stuff. So it's a fairly simple track for you know, compared to other tracks I've done, but there are some details that are cool, like the difference in the kick drums and the stuff going on with the percussion, the layers coming in, the break. Does this work? Anyway, so I'll do a video on that, like in the coming week or maybe after. It's always dangerous to promise stuff, but Sky on Fire. Yeah, I could do a video about that. You guys seem to like Sky on Fire. I'm happy about that because oh man, that was I was so stressed getting that one done because where is it? Let me grab the Sky on Fire here. This track was such a headache to get done. Because I mean, it's so super full. There's a ton of sounds in there, and it was a track that I really wanted to do really well. It was an important track for me. It was one of the tracks that I wanted to do a bit of the abandon Inception by Sound kind of vibe in the kicks and the percussion, but I wanted to do this more melodic take on that sound. I was changing stuff up to the last moment of this track. But even when I was finishing the gold master of the CD, I was still changing this track. No, nothing huge, but just little details.
People like you.
Little edits and crossfades, and it was just such a headache because I wanted it to be so perfect and it was so hard to get right, so full.
You've got your gift, and you've got what it costs. Hard to say for you what that will be. You'll have your time in the sun, but for how long? You've got so much anger in you. You'll have to be careful.
The breakdown in this part is the favorite part of the track for myself. This is what it's about. I mean, kicks are cool, kick drums are cool, but this breakdown and the voice and the way the chime melody comes in, that's just that was what I was pouring my energy into.
I couldn't stop it if I wanted to. But I don't. Because I think it's a remarkable gift.
Sometimes I hate that I have to drop. I just wanna go on with breakdowns. I have a track that's a 7-minute breakdown, and then you know, because as much hardcore is the language that I'm using to say this, but sometimes it's the way that the kick comes in, actually it feels like the kick is getting in the way of the melody. And I mean, I know for a lot of guys it's like use the kick drum and then see if you can hit some percussion or melody, with the kick drum. But for me, I really wanted to have the melody down and the chords down, and somehow I have to squish a kick drum into there as well. So it's kind of backwards for me.
My only fear is the very real possibility that I may set the sky on fire.
This? Where is it? This part. This is fun. That part. I kind of made a special semi-acoustic kind of little melody thing just to glitch up for this breakdown. You can hear these little arpeggios and stuff going on. And they only exist to be broken up in that glitch. But yeah, that worked. In the end, I had to cheat a little bit because the glitch made one of the second to last chord sounded kind of off because of the delay. So I tuned the whole glitch. Finally. I'll probably do synthpellas of some of these tracks. I mean, I probably won't do a synthpella version for subwoofer because that wouldn't be much. It would be just the melody in the second break. The rest is just noise and kick drums. But these tracks I'll probably upload a synthpella at some point on my own channel.
People like you have a hard time. Two sides of the same coin. You've got your gift. You've got what it costs. Hard to say for you what that will be.
If I've considered producing techno, well, yeah, I mean, I have done some techno, but I'm not sure. I don't want to call it techno because, you know, if I start calling music techno, then suddenly there are all these rules, and there's a techno crowd that has to like it, and techno labels. It has to suddenly. It adds all this weight to the track, and if I do stuff like that, like slower tracks or like techno-ish tracks, techno-sounding tracks, then I probably don't want to be, you know, weighed down by that. I want to do stuff like that to feel like having a break, like sort of like freedom. And then if I call myself a techno producer, then suddenly I can't do that. Same thing happened with drum and bass, you know. I didn't want to. We already heard that one. I didn't want to like officially call myself a drum and bass producer at any point, because drum and bass was kind of like fun music for me. It was music to do in my spare time, or to use in breakcore tracks or meander stuff. And if I would call myself a drum and bass producer, then suddenly I would have to do it the right way, or have this quality that I feel that I'd have to live up to. Yeah. So I actually did a lot of these slower kinds of tracks, but yeah, I don't know. I'll probably release them at some point.
You want to be a part of us? Very much so. I don't want to go back to my old life. I can't.
Look at these tracks.
It'll be our secret. I want to. I know. And one day you will. Deep into that darkness. Hearing all my spirit.
Let me pause Redshift for 2 seconds. So I did stuff like for instance, but I mean, it's not techno, and I don't wanna call it techno because then suddenly it has to be techno. So yeah, I just showed you like 8 unreleased tracks. I mean, this stream wasn't even about those tracks. Anyway, so yeah, I did do slower techno style tracks, but I have no idea what to do with them. I'll figure it out at some point. It's probably an album worth, and give them to somebody who knows what to do. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to, like, that's what I was saying, why put the music in a genre? Because I don't want to put it in a genre, but, you know, labels and people want to understand what you're doing, and, you know, what happens is you sort of either get pigeonholed to one genre, or every release you do has to fit some label, or, I mean, yeah, sometimes it doesn't, because you just make music. So, yeah, it's not. If it was up to me, I definitely wouldn't try to make everything fit a genre. That's why I'm not calling it techno. Slow, noisy, atmospheric stuff, which is not as hard as hardcore, but it's probably too hard for a lot of techno. You know the guys who are into Ghost in the Machine. Ghost in the Machine is produced over there, by the way, the other side of this wall. Probably doing Ghosts and Machines right now. I get to hear every track before it's done. If I do release the techno-ish stuff, it will be something else. I already know which name I want to use for it, because I want to use a name that just for me means that it's a blank slate, just starting from scratch without expectation. Yeah, if I decide to do something with it, I'll let you guys know. And I started a collab with Embryonic a long time ago, and I think it was my fault that but I did work on it, and I think he actually asked me if I was gonna finish it at all. So yeah, I'll have to talk to him. Hey Minx. Yeah, so yeah, I'll talk to him again. This stuff, that I was doing now, it's not meant to sound like it. I mean, it's a bit of his sound probably, and a bit of Timon's, a bit of Ghost in the Machine, but mostly just my other influences. So this is actually one of my favorite parts. All the kick drums in this track were done in a big live session with effects and plugins, and so also this ending, the noise, you know, coming in and out was just glitches on the kick drum, and so all the different kinds of kick drums. It was a huge session. I just cut it up and used that to make Redshift. I saw that on the streaming version of this track, because this track starts off with a lot of atmosphere, that it's not there. But if you have the album, or if you have if you buy it, then you do get this extended version. I'll see if I can upload this version to my channel at some point. So this is the atmospheric start of the track, if you haven't heard that yet.
The Void. You must have come to offer yourself to the Void.
Microtonal.
You must have come to offer yourself to the Void. Come to offer yourself to the Void.
Oops, double audio.
Come, children.
Yeah, the SM files were save me files, yeah.
Shall commit.
These were priest files. What were these?
According
POV
to the
files.
Eldritch terrors, in the name of the Void.
Priest of Void.
Hear the birth cries of this abomination, and tear through the skin of reality. I am your vessel. I am your priest.
But you had Angel as a alarm in the morning, and you didn't end up hating it. I never put a track I like as an alarm because I end up hating it. I actually hate everything I hear too often, and I need to have a break from it to get to like it again. It's a video streaming glitch here. we're not doing a POV SM project. Just completely different. I love that this part keeps dropping the ones, like from here. Just keeps dropping the one. And everybody knows dropping on the second beat is the way to go.
Yourself to the void.
I guess if you haven't heard the album yet, and this is the first things you're hearing from the songs, you're going to be a bit confused. But yeah, I'm just skipping to interesting bits. Have you guys figured out where the sample is from? Like,
I am your vessel. I am your priest.
you guys can figure out where that is from. There are a couple of really awesome sample sources in here that I'm just so happy that I managed to get in there. I guess the guys at Low Lyrics will figure it out. And I need to I'll need to go back and read all you guys' comments later on. I missed so many of them. Gecko, yeah, I mean, it would be a lot of fun to do something with Gecko. Actually, I was supposed to play, you know, at his party before the whole COVID thing hit. So we had to move it up and move it again, and then in the end, it just didn't happen. So I hope that in the future we can still like work together in some capacity. Somebody's already figured it out. It's Sabrina, yeah. Sabrina sample. You must have come to offer yourself to the void. The whole album was just an excuse to sample Sabrina. Nah. Anyway, we heard that one. Which of you guys heard the leak of this track? Like when we did that, I think, what was it? Wednesday to Thursday? We leaked this track. keep asking about Future Noise. I mean, I don't know Future Noise personally, you know. I mean, I've heard some tracks that he's done, and definitely like a quality producer. But yeah, I don't know him, and maybe we'll need to talk at some point. I mean, I wouldn't mind. There's one track he did. I don't know what it's called. It's one of his older tracks that I would definitely remix if I had the chance. And I don't know. I think people were really afraid that if I work with a hardstyle producer, something that then suddenly it will be a really sloppy track or something. But I think I've proved with collabs with like Anger Fist and Thera and stuff that it doesn't necessarily mean that suddenly I'm gonna lose my own style.
You are the future of humanity.
B-Front, I don't know. I think his style is pretty different to mine. I mean, I've met him and he's a good guy. I have no idea what a collab with B-Front would sound like. This is obviously my early rave inspired track, as well as Who You Are. It has some of these early rave sounds and effects in there.
This is the reason why I created you. You are the future of humanity. The new world that you start won't have the same problems that an old world. You are humanity's last hope.
Project file for the new world. A collab with Mad Dog would be fun. Yeah, I would definitely like to give that a shot. You know, because of the way he's been producing lately, and you know, it's so weird because he does stuff in his tracks. Then I'm like, oh man, how I wouldn't come up with the same way to work. You know, he has his super minimalist drops, and obviously I always have to maximize everything, and sometimes I hate myself for it. But so it would be probably really interesting to see what happens if, you know, we had his approach and I tried to, you know, make an atmospheric twist or melodic twist of this sort of minimalist drop. But yeah, who knows? I mean, that's definitely a possibility that we could do in the future. Somebody's asking about E-Rabbit, about my track that got released on a Japanese label. Yeah, well, you know, they just asked me if I wanted to do a track, and I was sort of between projects, and so I did the 99 thing, because yeah, I felt like maybe if I did something for a Japanese label, then I could sort of let go a bit of you know, the stuff that they expect to hear. Where is it? just a weird track for you know, I felt like it wasn't a very Dutch track, but also it wasn't a very Japanese track, because I mean, they really have their own sound as well, and I really think it's really awesome. I'm a fan of the Japanese compilations and artists, and I'll probably do something with the Japanese label again at some point. But yeah, I know this was just a chance to you know, between different projects that were not done or were waiting, or you know, I didn't have a label for, I could just do this and have this one-off kind of thing. And yeah, it was a fun track, I think.
The soul of a survivor. You'll never give up. Know what is hidden.
Collab with Drox, that would be very different. I'd do it though. I mean, why not?
The mission. Destroy.
Collabs, it's always interesting doing collab, because you feel that it's weird, because when you work alone, sometimes you just experiment and do weird stuff and then hope that it, you know, that it works out. And if you're doing a collab, then you have to have some sense of where you're going, some sense of a plan. And if you want to work together, then it helps that each of the guys producing knows what the other one is doing. And so sometimes it's a bit hard getting through the creative process, at least for me. Obviously, if you get stuck, it also can help that somebody else is there to pick up. But it is very different to working alone, and some guys is very easy to collab with, and other guys, even if you have a more similar sound, it's just more difficult because of the way you work. And yeah, it's not always straightforward. And a lot of, you know, you see all these fantasy collabs, and some just cannot happen because the way of working is so different. And yeah, it's not easy.
This body, it has the power I need. I feel a connection to it I can't explain. This could be who I am. I'm a warrior, aren't I? And you know. You always know. I do not stand by in the presence of evil.
Okay, so I'm just gonna run out for a second.
So he goes up in this big
I
space.
don't think I've played this one yet.
But the only
So here it is.
part of it is
I'll be back in a
He's
second.
got this portal window.
Hang in there. Don't leave me.
And he sees the curvature of the earth for the first time. And he's lost in that moment. And then all of a sudden, this strange ticking begins coming out of the dashboard.
Okay.
Rips out the control panel, right? Trying to find this sound, trying to stop this sound. A few hours into this, begins to feel like torture. A few days go by with this sound, and he knows that this small sound will break him. So Cosmonaut decides the only way to save his sanity is to fall in love with this sound. So he closes his eyes and he goes into his imagination. And when he opens them, he doesn't hear ticking anymore. He hears music. music closes his eyes. And he goes into his imagination. And when he opens them, he hears music. First time. And he's lost in
Yes. So yeah, this is also one of my Are they gone? Are they still here? So yeah, music. Cosmo. This was one of the tracks that when we were talking about, you know, how for streams and stuff they usually use shorter versions, the edits and stuff. This track, there was no editing this track. If you try to shorten the intro, it doesn't make any sense. If you try to shorten the outro, then you lose like the end of the story. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna do a video on this one because there's so much stuff that is cool to talk about. For instance, the beep thing going on with the click in the beginning and the piano note. Because there's only one piano note going on from for the whole track that starts off in the beginning and goes on to the end. Is the mic too low? I'm gonna turn up the mic. Maybe I could just sit here better and turn down the audio a bit. Like that. So who has the patience to sit through 3.5 minutes of down tempo, acoustic, electronic, whatever this is, trip hop, DJ Shadow Beats, piano, mumblings.
I have worth because I'm an artist. I have value because of what I make. You see how I can land you in tricky spots because if you are what you make, then who are you if you're not making anything?
These are Sennheiser 650s. Digital 650s.
Can feel each pulse and
just feel it radiating up my chest towards my head. Like a wave.
I mean shadow beats as in DJ Shadow style.
Really small sounds seem amplified. It's like your brain is recalibrated. So the quiet things seem much louder.
That's cool that you guys think that this track didn't even need a drop. Well, I don't think it did, but because it does, it's the conclusion of the album, the way, you know, the way the samples talk about how sounds have gotten louder just because you're adjusting to the more quiet stuff.
I feel like I can feel more things.
It's kind of the conclusion of, you know, the call of the void. That
body shakes a little bit.
That, you know, the sample in the beginning of how if you identify with your work as, you know, as your reflection of self, then who are you if that falls away, you know, if you're not happy with what you're making, or if you're in a writer's block, or if you feel like you can't make what you want to make, like what does that mean for your self-image? And then the other samples are talking about how, you know, bringing everything back smaller again makes it bigger. And it's kind of, I mean, you don't have to understand or be interested in the thematics going on in the album, but if you are, then you can kind of figure out, you know, from the start to the end what we call the rode draad, the red thread is going through the album. The mic's still low. Crap. Turn it up a bit again. How did I mix the drop? Yeah, the piano was not easy to get that past the kick drum there. But actually the piano plays in a higher octave for like a second, and then in the end, when the more modern style kick drum drops, it just goes to the big chords. Just have the side chain super saws just to punch through with the melody. So yeah, it was actually, that was one of the easier tracks to make on the album, because you know, because it didn't matter. It didn't have to be mixable. It didn't have to be like suitable for somebody's set, or it was just my like creative something I wanted to do. I wanted to make this build-up track that just talks about the process of working on music. For me, I mean, that's what the samples refer to for me, and then just drop that way. Yeah, and I when I first played it for some of the guys at the Thunderdome guys, they were like, but hang on, why does this like why does it stop? Why does it? Why don't you keep on doing this for another couple of minutes? But yeah, that really wasn't the point of the track. It's just that's what it wanted to say. That's the conclusion, and the album is done. You know, it's
My heart feels like my body shakes.
the circle's complete. Zoutendrop, obviously. Zoetendrop. And we're back to the beginning. So, yeah, is there anything? I'm gonna probably quit at about 6 local times. That's like another 15 and a bit minutes. Is there anything that you guys want to see, hear, talk about, yell about, swear about? I could probably look up another, just close Renoise. This is Renoise, by the way. This is what I use to write a lot of the tracks before going to Cubase. If you guys remember Fast Tracker, this is basically Fast Tracker. but new. It has VSTs, it has mixing, and this is for me. This is the quickest way to get ideas down. I think almost every track on the album started in Renoise, except maybe 1 or 2. So yeah, I can actually not see where I'm clicking. Synthopellas and longer versions, why or why not? I will upload Synthopellas and longer versions on my channel, I think, for the tracks that it's relevant of. What's my favorite track of the album? I think, I mean, everything has its place, right? But my own personal favorites are probably Save Me, just because it worked out so well and it's cool to play live. I will, if I do live sets, like if we ever get to do live sets again, I'll be playing that one live with the piano bits, definitely. Music, The Cosmonaut, just because it was such an ambitious track, and
Listen to this. Begins to feel like torture. Few days go by.
I was just glad that it worked out the way it did with this track. It was just so much work, but I managed to do what I tried, you know, with this track. So I'm proud of this track. So that what makes it one of my favorites.
So, to fall in love with this sound. So he closes his eyes.
I mean, End of Never.
Goes into his imagination.
Sky on Fire. Also, if it wasn't such a big fight with the Sky on Fire, I would probably like it myself more. I'll probably like it more like in a year's time. That I've kind of forgotten how much stress it was to get that one done. Korea, hey. That's awesome to see people from Korea. Shout out to Korea. I have never visited Korea. I really need to visit Korea at some point. I'm a huge fan of almost anything like East Asian. So yeah, Korea is definitely on the list. Collab with Project Omega. I'm not even sure there are still Project Omega things going on. Maybe I'm being like super dumb and I've completely missed it, but I think they've cooled down a bit with the releases. My thought process when I mix and master tracks, well, for me, it's first of all, it's the concept, you know, like what is this track about? Why is this track? Who is this track? Where is this track? I mean, some tracks are kick drum tracks, even if they have more elements. I mean, yeah. Other tracks are maybe a bit too full to sound really loud or really punchy, but because it's so important, you know, what the ingredients are so important, then you kind of accept that this one's not going to be the loudest banger, you know. So it's first you figure out what you're doing with the track and then tune those elements. So often for me, obviously with a hardcore track, you need the kick drum to sit well or slightly good enough. So that's a focal point. But also, I will start off in the break and have the melody working out. I spend a lot of time on the breakdowns when writing and also when mixing, because so in my tracks that's where so much of the thematics of the ideas of the character of the track comes through. So it's that, and then I do a lot of like really subtle leveling differences and automations just to make sure that these parts all flow into each other and they don't sound like little blocks, like a MIDI block of this idea and then a MIDI block of that idea, and that it just sounds like it's a big puzzle. I want all the elements to flow in and out, and all the levels to, you know, to join up in a way that there's no weird jumps, and that not suddenly you have a change of like a spectral change, suddenly a lot more highs and stuff like that. I want it to be one story from beginning to end, and that's my main focus when I'm doing the mix and the master. Ruben is asking about like the pictures they were posting about the album. Now I'll see if I can ask them to post them somewhere that you can use them on your phone or wherever you want. I think that should be okay. Now this is a cool question. Why I don't pitch my kicks? Is what Nick Kieft asks. Well, it's just a choice, you know. Sometimes I do pitch, like for usually for just a short moment I'll do a pitch kick, but because I don't like to have kicks pitching through the whole track, the whole melody, because it sounds too I don't know, for me it doesn't really work. It sounds too flat and it makes it happy, and maybe I'm kind of old school with the kick drums that you know, we didn't use to tune kick drums at all. You just made a cool kick drum and just one kick drum usually, and you use that for the whole track. And I think it sounds darker and more atmospheric to just use the one kick and not tune it. But then when there's sort of in the end of the melody and maybe the end of the bars, when you're going to a new transition, then there's definitely a moment that you can probably get away with a tasteful pitch kick that works, because there are a couple of them in there. I think there is subtle pitching in Save Me. Definitely on the Sky on Fire. There's this is a pitch kick. I mean, technically this is a pitch kick. But this is the bass note. Kick drum drops. So it's not the same as in the hardstyle tracks that it just pitches up and down, but like here you can. The kick drum does follow the chord for a bit, you know, just to make the cadence of the chord progression, you know, make more sense if the kick drum follows. It's a bit hard to explain, but I think that pitching kicks does definitely have it has its moments. So I'm pretty sure even in Music the Cosmonaut there's a pitch kick somewhere. Somewhere here. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. But yeah, I just don't do the whole following thing with the kick drum like you do in hardstyle. It makes it too funky and melodic in a way that I'm usually not going for. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah, cool. Yeah, it is kind of a hardstyle thing, sort of. I mean, they ran with it. I mean, there was always some kick pitching in hardcore going on way back already, but then it became part of the hardstyle sound, and yeah, the rest is history, I guess. So, do I use reference tracks for mixing and mastering? Not really. First of all, I try to just get a balanced mix of the track I'm doing. But I mean, definitely when you think you're sort of done, it helps to at least, you know, have a comparison if you're not way off, because you can get lost in a mix or a master and start putting more and more highs or lows in there, lose the balance. And definitely if you can compare it to a track that you think sounds warm or good, you know, then definitely that's something to use as a technique. Demo images. So these could be like backgrounds and stuff, I guess. These posters do not exist. Before you guys were wondering. Thanks for everybody who's saying that they love the album. Thanks so much. I'm really glad. And you know, it was a big project, and it's long overdue, and I'm happy that it turned out the way it did, and glad that I can finally share it with you guys. No, I'm actually not a big Sabrina fan. That was a joke. I hardly watch any TV shows at all because I'm just too busy. I don't take care of myself. But oh, how did I come up with the idea for subwoofer? You guys are gonna laugh. The idea for subwoofer came from Billie Eilish. Yeah, I'm not gonna play that because I'm gonna get super kicked off YouTube. But yeah, it was from Billie Eilish. Maybe you guys can figure out which track it was. She has a track that sounds like it's like a pretty standard pop track, and then suddenly when the chorus drops, the chorus is just way too loud, and they intentionally made the basses too loud, so it starts crunching up. And I thought that was so awesome. The first time I heard that track, I was driving a car for the first time that I didn't know the sound system of, and this track came on, and I was playing it not super loud, but you know, a bit of volume, and then it dropped, and then the speakers just crunched, and I was like, shit! I was like, turn it down. I really thought I was blowing up the speakers, just like the sound guy I was talking about earlier. And then I realized it was part of the track, and that was so awesome. I had so much respect for these little meta jokes that I guess Phineas probably came up with. So yeah, hardcore inspired by Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish is really good, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, it's like there's this thing that you can't like pop music if you're into EDM or hardcore or other electronic stuff, and you know, for the most part, I don't like pop music. I think pop music is flat and cheap and just too busy with scoring. But I mean, a good production is a good production, and that album that track was on, it was a good production. So yeah, my compliments to Billie Eilish and team for being creative with music. I mean, creative stuff is good, and I applaud that. So yeah. Okay, guys, last couple of questions before I head out. Love the album. Thank you very much. Yeah, is there anywhere you can find the full version of Forgotten Moments? I think somebody uploaded it to YouTube. Nothing official. But yeah, we should have that version somewhere. I posted the album version on my channel, which obviously doesn't have the same intro. So yeah, look for that other upload, and I don't know. I imagine they've uploaded the full version to some streaming services. Otherwise, I might have to upload that as well. Good music can exist in any genre. That's I agree with that. I definitely listen to metal. Metal is my long car journey music, and especially, I don't know, it's probably kind of cheesy to real metalheads, but I really like System of a Down, Meshuggah. Probably I'm the metal normie, but I definitely like that kind of stuff. So yeah, last question, am I still working as Meander? No, not at the moment. Not because I've abandoned the project, but because I needed to focus. I really need to learn to focus on projects. So I was focusing really much on this album, and then I'll do the maybe some of the techno-ish stuff, and then at some point I'll definitely try to do another Meander EP. I'll probably won't do an album because that's a bit much of a project, but I think a Meander EP, or at least a track or two, should be possible. So yeah, guys, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks a lot for joining me. I'm definitely gonna do this again at some point, maybe a bit later on in the day, so that people have a bit more chance to log in, because I imagine a lot of you guys were still at work or school. But yeah, I'll see you soon again, and I'll prepare these tracks that I was gonna do the insight behind Save Me and Music the Cosmonaut, and you guys asked for Sky on Fire. So I'll prepare those, and I'll give you guys a look into the projects and what was going on. So again, thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoy my album. I'm glad to be able to share it with you guys and play it loud. Okay, see you next time. Peace.